One other game before we end that I want to mention is that I just found on Kickstarter. It's called Tales of Elyria. So it's an MMO. You might have seen an article or two about it. So the premise is that your character has a finite lifespan, right? So your character is going to die of old age in a couple months. I think it's like 10 to 14 months, depending on how you play. And I don't know the specifics too well, but you start this character out, and you build a life, and depending on what you do in that life, that affects the world. So the game is designed to be totally fluid, like the lore of the game. So the way they're doing it is, if you buy, it's a Kickstarter game. If you buy into a certain tier, you get access to a 3-month exposition server, where all the players who bought into that tier play on the server and go through like a amplified version, and they build the story of the world.
Really?
Right? Yeah.
That's so cool.
So when the game is released, all the lore in the game is from that exposition period. Yeah. The 3-month exposition. And it's going to be alphas and betas, but they all get wiped. But when the exposition period comes, that doesn't get wiped. That's part of the lore of the game. So depending on how much you buy into the game at first, you can become a regular character, which the way it works is you do jobs. So there's no set quests. Players give other players quests. So you get a role. So there are people who are kings in the game, and counts, and like serfs and stuff like that, and they rule over lands, and they can get assassinated, and like kingdoms crumble. All the buildings are apparently totally destructible, and you can build stuff too. Yeah. So if you raise enough money as like a common shop owner, you can build a village and eventually become lord of the village, and then eventually become lord of the kingdom and attack the neighboring kingdom and stuff like this. And it's all awesome, MMO. Dude.
That's cool as shit.
Yeah, it sounds awesome, right?
Hopefully I can pull it off.
So all the I think there are NPCs, but they're like, I'm not sure how they work, but I know players. Actually, I think the way it might work, because when you're a player, you get roles, but when you log off, your character doesn't disappear. It goes into AI mode, where it keeps doing what you're doing. It defends itself. It runs its shop. So the NPCs, I think, are literally players who aren't online at the time. So say you run this shop and you're running out of supplies. You can contract another player to go get supplies from a neighboring kingdom, because they're more suited to do that, and you sign a contract and you give them gold, and that's the quests. So the quests evolve with the player base, and the way the world evolves and stuff like that.
That's fucking cool as shit.
It sounds so awesome.
Hopefully that can work.
And like they're even taking it to like another level. Like, there are no maps in the game. The maps you have to buy from other players, like cartographers or NPCs, but they could be faked. And they could just be treasure maps. They can't. They're not region maps. And also, depending on what kind of like ethnicity or what like race of person you buy it from, the names will be different too. But the names that people use, the NPCs use, will all be like the common name for it. But you might get a map and it might be a totally different name. Like, I don't know what I'm looking at, but you're looking at what you're standing in. And it sounds so amazing. And apparently they've already got like $1 million of funding from like other sources. Like, they have like $500,000 they're putting in themselves. They have $500,000 from investors, and the Kickstarter is their like final push to actually get it made. They have like an alpha a combat alpha or beta that they showed at like PAX East. Like, they have a game to make. They just need more money to make it the way they want to. And I backed it, and I'm like, this looks so cool.
That sounds cool as shit.
It sounds so fucking awesome.
Is it like an 8-bit game?
No, it's like a full 3D MMO.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fucking sweet,
It looks like Final Fantasy, what's
14?
14 or I guess Final Fantasy 14 is more realistic. It looks realistic. It looks so cool, and like the character, like they have GIFs of like the character aging as it goes on, and so when you die, this is the part I don't really understand. When you die, your soul is reborn in a different character, and you make a different character, and like it's hereditary, like you're in the same family. So when you start, you have a family, and you pick the traits of that family. So every character you make, you can't customize each specific character. It just will be born into that family, and it'll have those traits and stuff. Yeah. And it's almost like that soul is being reincarnated into the next human, but I'm not quite sure how that works, because they have these things called sparks of life that they're selling with the game and you buy after the game. So I'm not sure, it can go either one or two ways. It looks like the sparks of life are either going to be extra months that you can buy on to extend your character's life, or it's the ability to be reincarnated into a different character. Yeah. So the way they might do it is you might need to actually I think it's like they said 10 to 14 months is how long your character will last, depending on if you die apparently you can respawn, but that lowers your overall lifespan of that character.
Yeah.
And the higher up you are socially, the more lifespan will be decreased. If you're killed as a king, it'll be decreased by a lot. Because they want to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So it looks like the way it's going to work is, if you get to 14 months, when 14 months is over, you have to pay like $10 to be reincarnated.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no subscription, but you have to pay every so often. I think that's the way it works, but they don't really go into too much detail. But even then, it's like 14 months in this. So like I'm cool with that.
That's pretty.
It sounds so cool, and it's like $30 for like the base game.
That sounds like
Kickstarter.
An awesome
Doesn't
idea.
it? Doesn't it sound like amazing? It sounds like, why hasn't this been made before?
Yeah.
And
hopefully they can pull it off. I wish them the best.
Like an MMO with that level of input by the players and destructible environments too. Like, because it's destructible environments, you can like literally build. Like, you can invest your money in like a common town that's all player run, and you just lord over it. You'd like accept rent from people or something like that.
It's fucking cool.
It sounds like what video games are always meant to be, like this social area. I think if it takes off, that's like the future of MMOs right there.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Honestly, yeah. That
and
sounds.
I think it's called Tales of Elyria. It's definitely something of Elyria, and Elyria I think is Elyria. Definitely look it up on Kickstarter. They just launched it a couple days ago.
Tales of Elyria.
They're already like 75% of their goal of like $900,000.
I will post a link in the description.
It
sounds fucking awesome.
And it's not like these are amazing graphics. It looks cool. Like the graphics look cool for what like the design level is.
Yeah.
It's no Uncharted 4, which has gotten great reviews.
I have heard nothing but good things about Uncharted 4, which I have not played yet.
I will not play it for a while, but I will definitely play it one day.
But yeah, Tales of Elyria.
Yeah, I wanted to plug that because there's a lot of Kickstarter games
it sounds awesome.
Come across, and that was like, this is amazing. They showed it on Kotaku a little bit.
That sounds incredible.
I can't wait for more information to come out of it, to be honest. So, looks neat.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
now I'm excited.
Yeah.
But yeah, check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
Post a link in the description, like I said. It'll be fun. Leave your thoughts if you want.